What's up, guys? Today we'll be talking about my favorite phones in 2024, just doing a quick little look back, on this year in smartphones for me personally. And we look at a lot of old flagships. I try to bring on, some new phones sometimes, but this channel typically we like to look at, old flagships and, sometimes mid-range phones. And yeah, so that's one of my goals, is just to bring on more brands. So we typically focus on like Samsung, Apple, but this is the stuff that most people request since we're in the USA. I really enjoyed like the Motorola phone this year, so I want to bring on more Motorola phones. And Sony is another brand that I want to bring on. So that's one of my goals for 2025, guys, is to just bring on more brands. I want to bring on the flip phones and the folds and stuff like that. So that is one of my goals, and just pump out different content as well too, just different categories, do more headphone stuff. I really like doing that, and just other little stuff too. So I do want to go ahead and thank everyone for watching. YouTube gave me my little stat thing, so we got 33 million views and almost 45,000 new subs here. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching the videos. And yeah, so I do want to talk about the overall my favorite phone this year. I think this looks like it was everyone's favorite phone this year, was the Galaxy S24 Ultra here. This phone is extremely good, and the interesting thing about this phone is like, man, what can Samsung do to make this phone better? Looking at the S25 leaks and stuff like that, it's really not that much different from the S24, but we've been seeing that they're going to kind of round this off so it's not as sharp. I guess that was like one of the main complaints about the S series, is that now it's like sharp like a Note phone. And yeah, I think they're going to do that. Some minor spec upgrades. They're going to be upgrading the ultra wide, but I was like, this phone is so good that I don't have any complaints. The cameras are extremely good on here. You get really good zoom photography on here as well too. The screen is beautiful. It has that coating, so you don't have that reflecting and stuff like that. This phone has no issues for me. It's actually a pretty light as well too, as well with that titanium build quality. You're gonna get 7 years of major OS updates as well, which is awesome. So this phone is gonna last a really long time. The battery life is great. There's legit nothing wrong with this phone. So it was easily one of my favorite phones to use this year. I'm excited to see what Samsung does. I would say my overall favorite phone this year, and I'm going to be recommending the S23 series in general really aggressively this year because the S23 is just as, there's almost no difference between the S23 and the S24 Ultra. So this phone is going to come down in price a lot. And we are already seeing that with phones like the Galaxy S23, which is a smaller phone, still extremely good, very cheap. You can find these phones very cheap in the used refurbished marketplace. This phone is going to be a beast in the used refurbished marketplace because it's just as good as the S24 Ultra here. The cameras, the hardware, it's not going to get that 7 years of updates, but this is still extremely good for what you're getting. The screen, everything about this phone, it's almost identical, and you're getting it at a much cheaper price. So I would say keep your eye on the S23 Ultra here. The S23 Plus as well too is extremely good for you guys who want the cheaper price, but you don't want the that's not, I'm using it. You don't want the curved display that the S23 Ultra had. That's why I say keep your eye on the S23 series in general. This is going to be a really good phone, or it's already a good phone, but this is going to be a really good series this year that's going to, come down as the S25 series comes out. This is just going to be extremely good. I would say that another one of my favorite phones that I've been using this year was actually the Pixel 9 Pro XL. You guys know I use the Pixel phones for filming all of my shorts and stuff like that. And this phone's design is just really nice this year. I think this phone had one of the best designs, extremely comfortable. I really like the screen. I mean, Google's always been doing their thing with the software. It's pretty smooth for the most part. The cameras, I'm a big fan of the videos as well too, like I mentioned. And this phone will also get the 7 years of major OS updates as well too. But the cool thing about the Pixel phones is remember guys, the Pixel 8 Pro is gonna be like probably the best deal. It's already extremely cheap, and that phone, the Pixel 8 Pro, is gonna get the 7 years of major OS updates. Look, it's $369 for a very good version. I see this dropping as well too throughout the year. So we can say around like $350 for a Pixel 8 Pro with extremely good cameras, pretty good battery life. The Pixel 8 Pro is going to be a phone to look at, guys. It is just as good as the Pixel 9 Pro here. Honestly, they're like pretty much the same phone, but the processor on that phone is great. If you're not like a extreme gamer, you can still game on that phone. So I would say the Pixel 9 Pro has been extremely good, but yeah, I would look at the Pixel 8 Pro as well too, guys, because that phone is going to come down, and it's already coming down in price extremely good. And yeah, I wanted to mention the Moto G Stylus. I really enjoyed this phone in particular this year. The overall build quality was extremely good. We got this $200 off from Walmart. It's got a headphone jack. It's got the S Pen in here, or not the S Pen, but the Stylus. It's got a beautiful design here. I really like the textured finish on the back, and the cameras were good. The processor was good. The Moto software, was really good as well too, and I had no issues. It has SD card support, so yeah, this phone had no issues. The only thing about this Moto phone is that they didn't give it like pretty good software life. I think it gets one major OS update and gets security patches. That's the only issue with this particular phone here. But I would buy this phone in a heartbeat for anybody who, you don't want old flagships, you want something new. I would look at this phone, guys. I have videos on that phone. If you are an iPhone fan, I think that the iPhone 14 is probably easily one of the best deals you could think about. It's $400. You can go with a 13 as well too, but this phone, I noticed the cameras are really good. Even in lower light conditions, it's just as good as the newer like 16. And the build quality is really nice. Of course, Apple screens, they look a little bit outdated on the older models because of the notch, but the screen is really good on here, color-wise, resolution-wise, and the battery life is great. Now, my only issue with these older iPhones, so for example, the S22 can do the Galaxy AI, but the older iPhones cannot because of the RAM. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So the iPhone 14, 15, they don't get the Apple Intelligence stuff. But honestly, I think it's kind of overrated anyway. So I would pick this phone up in a heartbeat. If you're an iPhone fan, you really could hold on to this phone. There's really no difference besides the Apple Intelligence and other little minor things, because the iPhone 16 doesn't even have high refresh rate yet. So I would say iPhone 14, if you're an iPhone lover, fantastic phone. The most kind of interesting phone this year was the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I didn't like the button, and it was just weird. Like, Apple's release was weird this year. The AI wasn't ready. The AI is here, and it's not even really all that great. And the button, extremely awkward. A lot of people disagreed. I don't know how you could sure, you could disagree, right? But they got the button here. The physics, I guess, has kind of improved a little bit, because when it first came out, it was really janky. But I still don't like the button, even if you use it landscape or, like this. It just, I don't know, it just seems unnecessary. Now, this is a AI button that, it brings up the AI. You take a picture, it'll use ChatGPT, it'll search with Google, and then it'll pull it up like that. So, I mean, it works, but it's nothing really new. It took Apple a long time to push this stuff out. And honestly, the Galaxy, the S24 just does the AI stuff better. So it was a little weird release date. I think iOS 18 is a kind of a mess as well too. The Photos app is weird. This is weird. So, Apple did some weird stuff this year. The cameras are still excellent on here. The build quality is still great on here. Yeah, I have no issues with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, besides just extremely weird release with the weird button and the overall Apple Intelligence. Besides that, I mean, this was a fantastic phone as well too. Another phone I really enjoyed was the Xiaomi 14T Pro. it was a pretty good option. My only thing is that my subscribers were telling me, you know, overseas this phone is a lot cheaper, but when it first released here, it was kind of expensive. It was kind of up there, like $900. So I still really like the phone. I like the design, the processor, the screen was really nice. Xiaomi MIUI is coming together. It's really smooth. I really have no issues with it. So again, this is a much cheaper option overseas for people who want something new. But the Xiaomi 14, the smaller flagship, was also really good as well too. I really liked that phone. I really had no complaints. I really loved the cameras on there as well. And yeah, Xiaomi's putting the IR blasters in their phones still, so they're always extremely useful for me. And they were putting the chargers in the box. The 14T Pro didn't get the charger in the box this year, unfortunately. But yeah, the Xiaomi 14 and 14T Pro is awesome. I'm going to definitely look at more Xiaomi phones for sure. But yeah, guys, the S22 Ultra is going to be a phone that is going to be highly sought after as well in the used refurbished marketplace. And this is one of my favorite phones to recommend this year as well. It's like coming down a little bit under $400 now. So this is becoming just an excellent phone. It got the AI stuff. It's just everything on this phone is pretty solid for the price you're paying for it. So also the Galaxy S22 Plus has been one of my favorite recommendations this year. It's extremely cheap and the battery life is good. The design is still great. It got the AI features this year as well too. And I love the screen on this phone. Performance is still pretty good on here. And also the Note 20 Ultra has been a very good phone. If you want a phone with SD card support, this phone I really have no issues with. Honestly, if you want a big phone and the software, yeah, it's not getting, you know, any more major OS updates and stuff like that, but it's still a very solid phone, camera wise, display wise, hardware wise. Still a very nice looking phone and still a solid option. The price has come down. I think this phone is around the $300 price point. But this is also a good phone I really enjoy using. And I almost forgot, guys, the Galaxy S21 Ultra. This phone is very cheap in the used refurbished marketplace, around that like $250 price point. And this phone is way more comfortable to hold than the S22 Ultra. It has that, you know, design that's not super boxy. And I love everything about this phone. The screen, the cameras. I did a day in the life of this phone at CES. And it was just an awesome experience. So definitely check this phone out as well. And I think it's gonna, on its last major OS update, it will get security patches after that, but still a very good buy for this price point. Be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.